Hi, it's Kate with Zeal Marketing and Consulting, and I'm going to answer a question that I get a lot, which is what does marketing cost? And it's really about an impossible question to answer because, as you can imagine, it depends. But it's obviously something that small, medium sized business owners really need to know and have an idea of in order to make a decision. So, with Zeal, my philosophy is that we always start with a strategic plan. And I charge on a consulting basis to write a strategic plan. Typically, my fees are between $1,500 and $3,000, and I just determine that based on the estimated number of hours it will take me to write it. And then from there, the strategic plan determines everything else we're going to do, which is why it's so important. And it gives me an idea and the ability to estimate the cost of the rest of the marketing strategies. Some marketing costs are project based and some are ongoing. And so for the first projects that we typically tackle, they are creative projects that are priced based on the number of hours, the number of freelancers that it's going to take to produce them. So let's start with logo design and branding. Logos can run anywhere from $500 to a couple thousand. It just depends on the complexity and the length of the process of development. From there, we can do everything else. So establish brand standards and produce anything else we need to accomplish our strategy. So, as you can imagine, website project costs vary greatly depending on the need. So I have clients that we just need to expand copy and either lengthen pages or add new pages of copy. And that can be as easy as $50 to $100 a page, depending on who we hire to do the work. I have clients that we have to produce an entirely new website, which includes design, copywriting, and then actual building of the site. And so that can vary from a couple $1,000s to $10,000. It just depends on the complexity, the length of the site, the number of pages, the amount of research. There are a lot of factors that will affect the cost of a website. The cost of video production varies greatly as there are so many different uses for video, and the different uses require different levels of production, amounts of time, numbers of people, etc. So for some clients who are going to do TV advertising, a 30-second TV commercial production is required, and we use high-end video producers to create high-end commercials. And I think a typical price would be $5,000 to $10,000, and that depends on the number of days of production, number of locations, amount of hired talent, writing, and it's just really the complexity of the commercial concept. Another form of video would be a branding video, and that could be anywhere from a minute to 5 minutes. The length really just varies depending on how much we have to say and how much we have to tell our consumers. And that video price will vary greatly just depending on the length. Again, same as a TV commercial, it depends on hired talent, it depends on the number of days of production, it depends on writing, it depends on the complexity of the project. But you can guarantee anywhere from, again, $5,000 to $20,000, and then that really just depends on all those varying factors. Finally, there is social media, online website video, something actually similar to what I'm producing right now in the comfort of my home is really like a low-end social media online type video. And I highly recommend these. Consumers love video. They're cheap to produce. We can produce many of them a month and share them on social media, on YouTube, put them on your website. It's a really good way to humanize your brand and let the customer or the potential customer know who you are and what you're all about. A video like this can cost $500, or you could do a package where we produce, 4 or 5 a month, and you'd be looking at more like $1,200 or so. So there's an idea on how much video costs. Another project-based marketing cost is the production of print collateral. Marketing collateral just means any sort of printed marketing materials, and that could include brochures, booklets, postcards, posters for in your office, signage, anything that could be printed and used for marketing. And so the cost of print collateral very simply just depends on the amount of time it's going to take to produce it. So that will typically include conceptualizing, writing, and then designing the piece. Once that's done, we will get quotes to print it, and the print cost will be determined by the quality, how we print it, what kind of paper we use, and then of course the quantity. And so all that information will be provided up front for a client approval before we proceed with production. Some zealous marketing strategies will include advertising. Advertising can mean a lot of things. It can mean traditional mass media advertising, and it can mean digital online advertising. And the price varies greatly depending on the media we choose, the number of people we're trying to hit, the number of times we're trying to hit these people is typically what media is based on. So I never recommend a singular approach to advertising. If we're going to do it, we're going to layer it. So it may include TV and outdoor. It may include TV and digital, which could be social media advertising. But we always are going to use a layered approach because we just today in our society, people are bombarded with messages everywhere they go. And in order to be effective, we have to reach them multiple ways. And we have to use multiple different media to reach people because not everybody can be reached the same way. So advertising, I mean, honestly, it's about impossible for me to estimate, but I can give a range of anywhere from, for traditional advertising, a couple $1,000s a month minimum. And of course the sky's the limit, but what, $20,000 a month would be a really hefty budget. For digital, it could be significantly less, $50 a month, maybe a minimum up to a couple thousand, and that really, it just depends on geographic radius, who we're talking to, the number of people. Typically digital is based on geography and the number of people we're trying to reach. I offer my clients flexibility and choices when it comes to ongoing management. Not everybody allows that flexibility with their clients, but I feel like it's really important that any small business can afford marketing, and if they can afford to have a strategy written and put into place, and then they can run with it, then great, they're in better shape for it. So marketing management as an ongoing fee is an option, and it really depends on what the strategies are and what's needed ongoing. And it also depends on what kind of staff my client has and if they're able to handle the work internally. So marketing management fees can cost anywhere from $500 a month to $5,000, and that's really just dependent on the amount of work required, the number of hours estimated per month that's required. Well, I hope that helped, and I hope you have an idea of what marketing for your company could cost. And if you are interested and you'd like more specifics, please give me a call. I just need some more information about your company and about your goals in order to help you determine more specifically what it would cost to market your company.